and going live on Facebook.
Okay, are we letting people in yet?
Uh, I believe so.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, they're coming in.
Okay, perfect. Can you see my screen?
Yes, ma'am. Well, for those of us that are already here, and thank you all those as we're getting ready to continue and get going. We're ready to put the foot to that pedal and go, but give us a couple more minutes. I believe we're being joined by at least 3 of our members already. Welcome everyone. Today is Webinar Wednesday. And for those of you who are live on Facebook, welcome, welcome, welcome. Now, Webinar Wednesdays are about educating you and getting you to that next level, right? But what happens when, things change? This webinar is about Small Business Saturday, okay? The 2020s must know and must have. Now, when you're building your business locally, what are we going to do? How do we pivot? How do we change? How do we get people out there? Well, that is why we're here today. But before we get started here on Webinar Wednesday, and again, I'm Juanita Sepulveda. I'm with Tree Shaker Podcast. I too pivoted. But before we get started, I want to remind you about Buy Local Grow SA. Now, you're going to see all these wonderful businesses on Buy Local Grow SA. Now, I want to inform you about Buy Local Grow SA for all those who are new. Now, this is a one-stop website of resources for small businesses. Now, Buy Local Grow SA is a platform that was designed for business owners like yourselves. Now, through the website, you're going to be able to access free resources ranging from procurement opportunities to promoting your business and becoming visibly for free. Okay, see, that's always one of my favorite words. My best 4-letter word is free. But we have some new enhancements and features, such as having the ability to post business opportunities and promoting your profile. But once you can also have a sell or introduce a new product. You can use Buy Local Grow SA as another avenue to advertise your service or product. Now, we've also added some procurement opportunities where you can save the ones that you're interested in, along with the ability to post contract opportunities of your own as well. Takes about 5, max 15 minutes to register, but once you're approved, you can literally unlock a new way of doing business here in San Antonio. But here's the thing, talk about opportunities, right? We always have to have those who believe in us. And who believes in us? Absolutely. We got to thank our sponsors who make this possible. HEB, the City of San Antonio Economic Development Department, and Wells Fargo. Now, as you can see, all of our supporters who are truly invested and who believe in our mission to provide resources for our small businesses. But you're not here to hear me carry on and carry on. Let's talk about some people who have really taken the opportunity of being, part of Buy Local Grow SA. So, Nayeli, let's talk about who the first one is. We're going to talk about Yi Yang Segovia. She's from Wonder Photography and Design. Now, Yi Yang, I know there's a couple of things about you that I want to make sure. First of all, you're a United States Navy veteran, right? You were a photographer in the Navy. Please, before I steal your thunder, tell me more about that. And thank you for your service as well.
Thank you. Hi, everyone. Thank you for having me here. Yes, I am a Navy veteran, and I became a Navy photographer while on board the USS Theodore Roosevelt out of Virginia Beach, Virginia. And I feel honored and very proud of that job that I had, because I not only fell in love with photography during that time, but I was able to learn so much from, just from everyone in the photo lab. And I was able to take really cool pictures because we had access to like the entire ship. We could go where there were restricted areas. And during flight ops, we were able to be out on the flight deck and just, capture all those moments. And it just taught me that photography truly not just captures a moment, but it documents history, So I feel like Navy photographers are documenting the history of, the Navy and the military. So I'm really happy about that.
Absolutely. Now, there's a couple of things I notice on here. You're bilingual. You were raised in Colombia. You've also gone to the Columbia University for what? Oh, you graduated from both Lamar and Columbia. Now, tell
Yes.
me how life started with $200.
Well, so I was born in the US, but I spent a little bit over a decade in Colombia, South America. And when I turned 18, me and my sister decided to come back to the US. And we came back with literally $200 in our pocket and a suitcase. So without a plan or any resources, we quickly became homeless in Los Angeles, California. So that's the reason why I actually joined the Navy. That was like my only way out at that moment. But yeah, that's how my life as an adult started. And then it just, I guess, went up from there.
Now, this is some of the things about your photography. It's the ultimate time machine. I love this when I was reading about it, because I just recently, how many of us lose our phones, right? And we don't realize to back it up and things of that nature. I found a photo that I had put on, you remember those iPods, the big old iPods that had the screens on them, right? I found a few photos that I literally bawled my eyes over. And so, the ultimate time machine literally, just threw me back to that time. So tell me tell me about your story. Tell me about what's going on.
Well, yes, that's literally, how I feel about photography. And that's why I love it so much, because I think it's the art of capturing a moment that will last a lifetime for generations. So through photography is how we're able to, see how our great grandmother was, or how they used to live, in certain places. And I think, and if you look around today, I mean, it's a visual world, through video photography, even like Zoom meetings. So I feel really privileged to have this as a business, and to be able to capture moments in families that they're able to keep for a lifetime. I did photography after the Navy. I did photography as a hobby, and in 2017, I decided to just quit my day job and start my business owner and entrepreneur journey as a photographer. Yes.
Now you specialize in child and daycare photography. Expand on some of this.
So in 2017, when I quit my day job, I was in Wonder Photography. I was Little Angels Photography. And so I specialized in daycare photography. I did that for a couple of years here in San Antonio. And so in 2019, I did want to expand, and I did want to explore other types of photography, other audiences. And so the first thing I thought about is I need to change the name of the business, because obviously Little Angels is very focused on babies and kids. So, after looking for a name and thinking about, how I wanted my company, the look and the feel of it, I came up with Wonder Photography. And in 2019, I think that 2019 was the year of my where I grew the most, not just as a business owner, but as a person, because I spent the entire year networking, meeting people, going to, all the resources and tools that the city of San Antonio or San Antonio in general has to offer to small business owners. I spent that year learning about it, attending, meetings, signing up for stuff, meeting people. During that year, I applied and got certified for the SWAMB certificate for government contracting. And I started every time, because I was always driving, going to the meetings and going to meet clients. So during my drives, I started listening to audible books. Instead of listening to the radio, I switched it around. And it was a year where I grew a lot as a person. And I started listening to all these books that really opened up my mind, and so I think that I hopefully I changed for the better. And then I made myself learn new techniques, new skills, in just self-taught, photography, outdoor photography events, low light situations, stuff like that. So 2019 was a milestone, let's say that, in my business, which at this point is very, very new. I'm building up my portfolio. So I'm thinking, okay, I need pictures of maternity, okay, let's look for that opportunity and get that into my portfolio. I need pictures of a senior graduate. Okay, let's offer that and let's get that into the portfolio. So I was doing a lot of things for the first time.
Okay.
Now 2020, COVID happens.
Right.
Yes.
So after 2020, what's going to be your next plan, or am I stealing your thunder on your next slide?
No.
Okay.
Actually, no. 2020 has been a time of reflection, has been a time, and I'm also in my personal life. My kids are turning teenagers, so that's also new. So I'm going through a lot of new things. And with 2020, I've realized that it's been a time of reflection, of innovation, a time to look back at the business. And what I really want to do is just try to focus on one or two types of photography, because I've been a little scattered. I've been doing everything. If someone asks me to do certain type of photography, I will say yes, because I feel capable of learning it and doing a good job. But I really want to focus and specialize in one or two, types of photography for, after 2020.
And I think that's one of the things that, is, as we get ready to go through this, and you brought up a good point, instead of being everywhere and respond and reacting, I think what you're saying is you're actually taking a step back. You have survived. Now you're going to respond instead of just react.
Yes.
That way you're coming back, you're reevaluating your business plan, and now you're ready for that next stage, right?
Yes. Perfect. Yes.
Now, I see that you're ending that it's been like a roller coaster. And you know what? We don't want people to go through that, but sometimes you have to go through those roller coasters, right, Yi?
Yes, I mean, that's what life is about. Life is a roller coaster, and the same thing happens in business. When you switch from being in the corporate world to being your own boss, everything changes. It affects your entire life. And so when you're going through that transition, and like I went in it without being a business owner. I didn't know what I was doing. And so it's a learning process. It's like I'm barely, learning how to crawl. I don't think I've learned how to walk yet. And so that obviously is going to have ups and downs. But the key is not to get down on the moments when you feel like, you didn't get the result you wanted, or it didn't work out. Those moments are your actual lessons learned. That's where you learn, and that's where you grow, and that's where you can take the next step to actually get closer to your goal. So
I like the fact that you brought up the audiobooks, because as looking in your lessons learned, you feed your mind, is so true. Instead of and don't get me wrong, I love listening to great music, but sometimes that 30-minute drive, 40-minute drive, even a 15-minute drive, pouring something into yourself that's positive versus something that, don't get me wrong, entertaining is great, but every moment as an entrepreneur has value. It should offer value, correct? And what you're saying here is that you fed yourself, you looked at your vision, you knew what you were passionate about, and you knew you had to look for yourself. The reality is, you're right, you're not alone, but it can be done. Absolutely correct with your lessons learned.
Thank you.
Any gold nugget during, seeing that we're still in a pandemic, we know this not going to be going away anytime quickly. What is your gold nugget that you can offer to someone else?
The one that I always try to share is the one that says, just be compassionate to yourself, because as business owners, we focus so much on our client. We're so compassionate and kind towards our client, toward their situations, why, they had to cancel, or, maybe what they're going through. And we're so self-critical and hard on ourselves. So if we can just be as compassionate and kind to ourselves as we are to our clients, I think that balance will make us, then you go into, okay, now I'm going to feed my mind. Now I'm going to look into wellness, and just being balanced overall will make you a lot better person in business, at home. It'll just be so much better.
Right. Now, I heard you said that you listen to audio books a lot. Yes. I love audiobooks because I'm dyslexic, right? And so I like the audiobooks, and I like the books because I write notes. My kids think when I hand them a book, it's a test. No. Those are the Cliff Notes, kids. Those are the Cliff Notes. Just read those.
Yeah.
But in your audiobook, what is the one book that just really stands in your mind that has helped you get through this moment?
I'm going to tell you, in business, the audiobook, because there's two categories that business and then personal. Mm-hmm. So in business, the book that turned around my mind is called The E-Myth. And I have the author here. It's by...
I have that one.
You have it? Michael E. Gerber. Uh-huh. That book was whoa, incredible. Right. And in a personal, for a personal book as a woman, the book that really struck me was Girl, Stop Apologizing by Rachel Hollis. Yes.
Now, I actually met Rachel.
Did you?
Yes. She is completely dynamic. Her story is well worth listening to. Just a ball of fire. So yes, definitely. Girl, stop apologizing.
Yep.
Well, I'm so glad to have you here, Yang. And again, thank you for your service.
Thank you.
Now,
thank you so much.
These are some of the core, what is it? What are you doing here? These are the things that you've done?
Yes, those are the things that I specialize in. And this is actually, and it looks a little blurry, but it's coming from my my corporate, I just forgot the name of it. Anyways.
Capabilities?
Capability statement. Yes. Thank you. Uh-huh. So I one of my goals is to do local, state, and federal government contracting. So like commercial photography and corporate headshots, product photography. I have some samples at the bottom of the page. But yeah, that's a list of the things that I've specialized in, and the certificates I've applied and qualified for, and then my next codes that tell the companies that the categories, I guess, that I would fall under. Right. Yes, ma'am.
Awesome. Now, if I needed someone, how would I contact you? Oh, here it is. Speaking of that.
So I'm just on Instagram right now. I do have a Facebook, but I don't really keep up with it. And it's the same tag on Facebook. If you are on Facebook, it's at Wonder Photo SA. And that's the best way to contact me, through messaging, either on Instagram or Facebook. I do get the messages and I respond through there.
And by Local Grow SA.
Of course.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Well, it has been a pleasure speaking to you. Now, don't go away in case we have questions. Okay. I just want to be able to say thank you for being here, and I appreciate the time that you've given us. But who is our next person? Our next person is Andrea Ley. Now, Andrea is the owner of Olla Express Cafe. Andrea, are you on?
Yes, I'm here. I'm ready.
Oh, wonderful. So I thank you, first of all, for giving us the capabilities to be able to connect with you, as well as being able to connect with you on Buy Local Grow SA. Now, Andrea, you said that you're bringing a taste of Mexican recipes to San Antonio, and it all started with a cup of Mexican elixir. Tell me how that all started, because when we tell about our stories, they kind of unravel at the most inopportune time, and then you go, oh, that's where I need to go. So how did you know Olla Express was your vehicle to get going?
Yeah, well, as you said, Olla Express Cafe is a coffee company. Mm-hmm. We have a mobile coffee shop and also our online store. And we specialize in café de olla, which is a traditional way to drink coffee in Mexico. It's coffee with the spices. So how it started, it was back on 2016 where I felt very homesick. And I was, like missing all my people and obviously the food and the drinks and everything. So I was just thinking, what about if we have Café de Olla here in any restaurant? And then it just popped up in my mind that, oh, that could be something that you can do, to bring those flavors from Mexico to San Antonio. And that's how the idea started. I am a coffee lover. So my best time in the day was when I was drinking my coffee in the coffee break. I used to work for USA in the IT department, and it was great for me. But as the 9 to 5 job, it wasn't that like not anymore inspirational for me. It was kind of my time to go out from the corporate as well. So
What? You're telling me corporate life was not glamorous?
it was for for some time, and it was great. I can't complain about it now that I see that in retrospective. But yeah, of course, you need something else, like some spark that ignites on you and gets you get out of the bed, like very motivated and, with that passion that this coffee is bringing me right now.
Right.
So as a company, having, this platform for Mexican coffee is great for me because it's rewarding. It's so worth it that I can show the Mexican culture in a proper way that many people is telling me, the customers, oh, you know what, this is tasting like my abuela's recipe, or this smell like my hometown. When many people, San Antonio being like probably more of the Latino culture is about 50% of people.
Right.
Is 40 something, like 46 or so. Many
Right.
people is missing that piece of Mexico, and so that's our mission, and part of the things that I started thinking about it. And when I just completely got everything set up on the online store, I started selling products and having some tasting on farmers markets and things like that. So the response from the customers was very good, and I was like, you know what, this is the right path. So I quit on 2018 to my 9 to 5 job, and it's been a great journey. Obviously, there are so many things that you struggle with, but with the San Antonio City resources, like you guys also having this platform for businesses, small businesses, is very, very good, because we
So,
can, showcase our business.
so I see here that you're saying that your mission is rescuing traditional recipes. But I know that sometimes, we get judgmental about all these other businesses. What's your golden rule when it comes down to your business?
Yeah, when I just mentioned about the farmers market, when we were, talking to the people and having them taste our coffees, they were like amazed with the flavors. And the golden rule for us is, once you identify your market and according to their needs, you have to listen to them, because if they are telling you what they want or what they need, we care about it. We care about how they like one thing or the other. So you have to be respectful on the quality and the ingredients. And that's what we always say, we all use natural ingredients, we don't use any artificial flavors. So
Mhm.
I really feel that's how they are appreciating our business and our products.
So, Andrea, this morning, and how appropriate that we're talking about this, because this morning I was speaking to my daughter, because all of our children are at home right now, and she was talking about a champorrea, right? Champurra. Un champurrado. I don't know, un champurrado. Now, I'm going to translate. Un champurrado is a Mexican hot chocolate, right?
Yeah, with some other spices,
So,
a
right.
little bit like
So,
elevated. Mhm.
right? It's an elevated hot chocolate. Now
Mhm.
we know that when we're talking about being in the kitchen and those flavors, it's the aroma that just draws you. So what are your plans for the future? Because I mean, instantly, that's what I was thinking about. What are your
Yeah,
plans?
well, as you know, I started just with the products and then selling those to the online store just to be able to open our coffee truck. And
Mhm.
now that we have our coffee truck like storefront,
Mhm.
we are seeing how the people is appreciating that. But also the coffee truck is preparing you to this thing that I'm saying here, because my learning or my lesson learned on the coffee truck being mobile is that you always have something that is failing. You always have something challenging from
Mhm.
mechanic issues or electricity or whatever is failing there. So we are planning always ahead. If I have something failing here, I need to have plan B and plan C. And it's good to start thinking it's gonna fail, but that doesn't be that doesn't have to be something that you are afraid of.
Right.
If you are afraid of failing every day, being mobile, you are done, because you need to start planning ahead. Like for this year that we have, the 2020 being a challenging year,
Mhm.
as we were planning for that kind of failures, not a pandemic thing, but we always have the alternate plans to succeed. So being from the IT background that I have,
Mhm.
I have I had last year, actually from 2018, I had everything in place, the structure of my website and the online store and everything in place. So when this happened, we didn't have to start thinking about how can we sell online, how can we
Right.
pivot to survive to this pandemic. So that was a good thing for me being the owner, and say, you know what, we are ready for this. We are gonna just shut down or close the coffee truck, and we can focus on our online store. So that's what I mean when I said plan for failure. And the other thing that has been very good for us is creating partnerships with other brands.
And I was looking at that because
Yeah.
one of the things now I podcast, right? And one of the
Mhm.
things that I podcast about is rush to fail. And I know that sounds kind of like a backward plan, but I think that's where it really took you. You knew you were going to potentially fail, but you didn't, it wasn't a do or die. It was plan A, B, C, and D. So you became innovative. You had certain footprints already set up. Your background was in IT. You weren't sure when you were really going to be fully engaged in, online services, but you pivoted.
Yeah. And let me tell you a little bit about that way of thinking. And it was because when I started the idea, I
Mm-hmm.
didn't have enough resources or enough savings to start the business of Café de Olla, right? So I was like, what can I do? And I just discovered Kickstarter because I was a fan of crowdfunding. And I was
Mm-hmm.
like, you know what? I could do this and see what happens. Many people can support my Kickstarter campaign, and my family and friends and blah blah. but that didn't go very well. So it was a fail. It was a failure for me. And instead of being like disappointed and just trying to quit to that idea, I said, you know what, I'm gonna start just having this like experiment, having my family and friends and some like close customers to try my product. So I started experimenting with cold brew de olla with the spices and piloncillo and all that. So I was still in the office, so I took my product and I have all my coworkers try, and that's how it started. So or instead of having this idea to start big with the coffee truck in the beginning, I started with the products. So that's what I feel taught me at that time. You can start little by little and then go big. So that let me start saving money to open the coffee truck. And I think that failure just was like a good learning for me.
So not only did you leverage what you already have, such as technology, you literally launched a new product, right? Tell me about the growth once you identified these products.
Yeah, the customers demand, or the people demand, was bigger and bigger every time. So that was also the time that I was trying to evaluate and decide if I could quit, you know. So I talked to my husband and I told him, you know what, I don't have the enough time now to do what the people is demanding me with the products, and I'm not, you know, being successful in my office or in the business. I'm kind of always between those two, and that's how I needed to decide to be in my business only, to grow with the demand that the people was, you know, having in the business. So that was how I started just deciding. When I took the decision, I started also doing a lot of networking. I found like San Antonio resources like Lip Fund, launches a small business, women's business center, and all that just had like a very big vision or picture about how other people was doing the same as me. So I got inspired, and I felt you know, with support from other shoulders that I didn't have like in the city, because being Mexican, you don't have the same you know, networking that you have like in your hometown. But still, you know, I felt very welcome to do it, and I was inspired, motivated, and all that. So I let, as I say here in the slide, I let the experts help me, you know, like, you know what, you know, this legal stuff, you can just teach me or help me with the things I need, with my business plan, with my financial things, and all that.
So tell me, what are some key factors that people should, you know, really kind of focus on?
Well, the key factors that I've been, you know, focused and that worked for me was being perseverant and never give up. If you are failing with some little things, you can just stand up and continue with what you're thinking is a good business for you, or a good idea. And then keep it simple. The focus on some of the things that you are like you have expertise or specialize in. That's what you have to focus on, because if you try to do so many things in different areas, you're gonna just lose that focus. Then the innovation, as I said, other than the Café de Olla, I also have some artisan drinks, like you said, you know, the champurrado. I don't have champurrado right now, but if people ask me to make it for a catering or something, I do it. But we have in our coffee truck right now, toles, which are very similar to champurrado, and different flavors of it. I started making tepache, which is like a Mexican kombucha. And also we are gonna have the holiday season, some ponche. So that's what I feel when you have new products and you innovate in that way, people is appreciating a lot. And then some fairness, you have to listen to your customers, but also to your colleagues. If there is people who is in the same business as you are, like other food trucks that are my friends now, I listen to them and I started thinking if we all are, you know, like partners, we can do things better. And social causes, I try to collaborate with some of that because I think that's important too, to give back.
Now, you talked about the holidays coming up, and I know Naeli is going to be giving me some information on how to contact you. There it is, Olla Express Cafe. You know, we talk
Yes.
about, you know, memories. Memories are the ones when you talked about, you know, canela, and you talk about los atoles. I instantly, you know, float back to grandma. My grandma's tiny little frail body, dark as can be, curly, 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 but she's handing me this cup of, you know, atole, and all I can think about is the smell and looking at her. And those are the things that I think right now, as we pivot through this, right, and we tie our bootstraps and just hold on and just keep marching. Ladies and gentlemen, you know, I hope you see some of the, like you said, some of the beauty here in San Antonio. She's sharing her culture. She's sharing those memories. Take the time and create some of your new memories. Adriana, thank you so much for taking time. I love the fact that you're keep moving forward. And like you said, for those of us who aren't, you know, failure is just not an option. We do this for our family. We do this for our community. But after all, don't forget to do it for yourself. Now, talk about doing it for yourself. The next guest that we have is Julia Bates from Mellow Bee. Now, she's a registered nurse and she's a certified mindful coach. Now, Julia, are you on here?
So there we go.
There we go.
There we go.
Yes. Julia, tell me how you decided to become Mellow Bee.
Well, it's kind of a strange story. I call myself an accidental entrepreneur. My daughter was really ill as a teenager, and I had to quit my job as a nurse and go home and be a nurse to my daughter. And that lasted for several years. And I'd been a meditator most of my life. I learned in high school, so it was a long time ago. And I just had always used it for myself. So I thought it might be helpful for her. But she was so debilitated that she couldn't sit up straight in a meditation position. And although you don't have to do that, I know that it is an important part of it. So I designed a better cushion for her that gave her more support. And I found that I really kind of needed that too. I was having some hip issues from the job that I had had before because I spent a lot of time on the computer and I wasn't used to that as a nurse. So anyway, that's I had it for her and we used it for a couple of years, and then she went off to college, and that was a scary thing for me. And I, was going back and forth and taking care of her, but I had decided I wanted to teach meditation as a nurse to more people. So I designed a whole, I became certified and I designed a whole course and thing around mindfulness. And I went to a startup weekend event, and I thought that it was about Startup Week. And I just wanted to meet more people in the tech community and downtown community because I thought they would be the ones who would adopt this practice of meditation and would like me to come teach them. So It was a startup weekend, and I don't know if you know about a startup weekend, but you start
Mhm.
on a Friday night and you pitch your ideas, and you do it all weekend, and then Sunday afternoon, the people who get picked to continue and build a team, and then they pitch their business plan at the end of the weekend. So I get there, it's a cold February and it's raining outside, and I drove in from Bernie all the way downtown. And I was tired. and and I realized I was in the wrong place for the wrong thing. And they said, "Oh, just stay. What do you do?" And I said, "I'm a meditation teacher." And they were like, "Oh, that's weird." Okay. So yeah, we're all like really freaked out right now because we're having this big competition. There are about 100 people there. And so I jumped up
Wow.
there and did a meditation for them and got them to calm down. And then they said, "Stay and have something to eat, and this might be something you want to do." And I was like, I don't think so." But I stayed and listened to them pitch their ideas, and everybody kept telling me that they loved my cushion and I should make more and sell them. And I kept thinking, I don't want to do that really. So I just
Right?
went and pitched. I pitched my cushion. I just thought, it really is a good thing for people to
Right.
learn to, correct their posture. So,
Right.
and I
Now,
also want to push my meditation business.
so I'm looking at your cushion. Is there an incline? Is it like
Yeah,
higher in the back?
higher in the back. Yeah, so I designed it so that the foam, so there's buckwheat hull along the top of it, and that
Oops.
gives you that kind of like forms to your body kind of a thing.
Mhm.
But we knew we needed support. So I
Mhm.
designed a foam piece that's higher in the back and kind of wraps around. It's shorter in the front,
Mhm.
and then I kind of put it together. It took like a couple of months to kind of get it right,
Mhm.
and I still am working on it. But yeah, it does an amazing job. As soon as you sit on it, you kind of almost can't slouch. You feel
Mhm.
like your normal thing to get on the computer and slouch.
Yes.
That it kind of makes you go, no, you're not going to do that today. We're going to sit like this instead. So when people sit on it, you can see the look on their face. Everybody does the same thing. I'll go, oh wow, look at me, I'm sitting up straight, and I want to, like my body wants to do that. So that's that. It was originally made for the floor and for meditation, but people kept asking me for the chair. So the one on the floor is called a Mellow Bee, and that's and I
Mhm.
use it for lots of things. I fold clothes on the floor. I play with my dogs. I watch TV. I use it as like a bolster for yoga and stuff like that. But people kept asking for one for the chair, so I designed a smaller one, and that's called a Worker Bee. And
Okay.
that has been my big like that's my big been my big seller. I mean, that's just by far
So is
people.
this the worker bee right here?
The one that you're showing a picture of is the Mellow Bee. The Worker Bee is the smaller. Yeah, the one that she's sitting on. Can you see that?
Let me
Yeah.
see.
Yeah, the one that
We're
she's sitting on.
trying.
That's my daughter. So that's my daughter,
Okay.
Corey, and she. Yeah, there you go. That's the
Okay.
Mellow. That's the Worker Bee right there. Yeah, smaller, fits right in a chair. A lot of people use them in their cars. I have one
Okay.
guy who uses it in his tractor. I have people use it for lots of different reasons. You can also put it to your back and use it as lumbar support. So it
Okay.
has a lot of options. You can also put it in your lap and use it as a baby bolster, or you can put your computer on it, and it gives you a little bit of stability there. And if you're going to sit on the couch or something like that, it
Right.
also, if you get in your bed, like I have one person whose mother is ill, and he bought one for her to put behind her head in her bed. So she
Okay.
puts that down, and then she puts her pillow on top of it, and she's at a perfect incline, to do the things that she wants to do, like knitting and reading and stuff like that. So it
Okay.
has a ton of different uses, and I try to make it really beautiful because I think that's important. And yeah, that's kind of where it
So
all started. And
now you say you do it for meditation because instantly what went through my head is because I have to go through physical therapy, right?
right, yeah,
And with us being at home in COVID,
right,
it gets a little uncomfortable in this chair, especially when I do
yes,
my podcasts or I do my webinars or having great
absolutely,
conversation with ladies like yourselves. You're right. I have to psychologically tell myself, okay, roll your shoulders back.
right. Roll your shoulders
But
back,
here's
drop
the
them down, lengthen your spine,
right.
lengthen the back of your neck, tuck your chin a little bit. All those things automatically
Yes.
happen when you sit on it. So you'll just kind of go,
Okay.
wow, like my body wants to do this. It forces it to do this. Plus, it gives you a little cushion, where you need it. So yeah, it
No,
makes your
no,
butt
no,
happy.
no,
It
no,
makes
no.
your butt happy. It really does.
It does. It does. But again, what I'm thinking about is because my shoulders, I was in the Marine Corps, and with the weapons, kind of took a big
Right.
hit on my shoulders, or
Sure.
repelling, spy rigging, whatever we did.
Yeah.
We weren't exact. We were like human rag dolls, right? And so
Right.
instantly, I'm looking to this because sit back, grow taller, grow taller.
Right. Oh,
So
absolutely.
let me tell you. Let me ask you this: you're here locally. You're on Buy Local, Grow
Yes.
SA.
Yes.
Okay. And do you deliver or do you mail, especially with things of this nature?
I do both. I do contactless delivery. I mean, I'll contact you and let you, you tell me where you are, and I will leave it on your doorstep or at your office, wherever
Okay.
you need me to do that. If you want me to mail it, I'm happy to do that as well. I don't charge extra for shipping. So if
Wonderful.
that's what you want, then that's what you get. Yeah.
And you originated when?
2017, February, March. Yes.
It sounds
Yeah.
like you're a very good secret that we'd love to be able to discover.
Oh,
And
good.
seeing that
Yeah.
you're on Buy Local, Grow SA, Miss Julia.
Yeah. Yeah.
Absolutely.
I also teach office wellness for offices, and I was doing that before COVID. I was,
Okay.
going to some of the offices of, some of the companies downtown. I've been to Dell, a few other places where I just go in and discuss, how to stay healthy while working in an
Okay.
office setting, and yeah, and that's super important. I just did a webinar also with Geekdom about that. So
Excellent.
yeah, it's a super important thing, and it's just lots of little things that you can do, and yeah, the nurse in me really takes over. It to me
I
is the most
imagine
important
so.
part of my whole company is that I really had not planned on becoming a meditation cushion vendor or whatever, entrepreneur, but it's it's one of the ways that I can get people to talk about the other important things in your life, and that's of course the self-compassion and the kindness, but also understanding that everything is impermanent, and it's hard to feel that way right now with everything that's going on, that this is going to go away, and it is going to
Well,
go away. So
thank you so much, Julia. I really
sure.
enjoyed learning about this Mellow Bee. I'm going to check you out because, those of us who are having to be stuck at home, we're going to need some of those
Yeah.
resources to kind of keep
Yeah.
moving forward. Julia, it's a pleasure having you.
Thank you.
I want to be respectful, as you say, be mindful of the next, but
Yeah.
I want to go nuts, people. I want to go crazy nuts. We've got Margaret Wilson Anagala. Is that
Analia.
correct?
Analia.
Analia. See. Okay,
It's
my
all right.
apologies, Analia. Now, here's the thing. I want to dote a little bit on Ms. Margaret. She's Al's Gourmet Nuts, and when I'm telling you I want to go nuts, is the fact that she was actually one of our winners. One of our winners during, as our webinar Wednesdays, that was awarded a little sum, but I'm sure it went a long way. So she is family owned and operated. She has gourmet gifts, which means that, not only can you do it for fundraising, but also branding your organization, things of that nature. I don't want to steal your thunder. Margaret, tell me more about Al's Gourmet Nuts. How did it come to be? Because you established in 2000. It is, family owned and operated. But there's another story behind that, isn't there?
Well, I think the great story behind it is following your passion. I love food. I love being creative. Had an opportunity from a retired chef that I had met doing other creative things. Believe it or not, I have a background in economic development. I used to be a division head with the economic development department. And in my spare time, I sold arts and crafts. Met this wonderful chef that actually sold this product, and jokingly told him one day, hey, if you want to ever sell the business, let me know. Little would I know, a year later, he would say yes. Keeping in mind, I have no retail experience. I had no manufacturing experience. But one thing that I did know, a great product is a great product, no matter what. And I bought it for such a steal that if it failed, all I had to do is get my money back with the recipe and equipment. Well, here we are in 2020. Not ever thinking 2020 was this far away and this would be insane at the same time. We've managed, to be here. And I've always been told that if you follow your passion, everything else will follow. Not to say you're going to have an easy time of it, not to say you're going to be making $10 million, which I'm not, but it's going to say that you're going to enjoy what you do. And I think during this pandemic, it's made a lot of us really, especially as entrepreneurs, you really want to think about it. And you go to the next slide, talking in terms of being an entrepreneur, that it's crazy. It's a crazy. And I think 2020 has been that reflective period to say, do I really want to be an entrepreneur? And my answer, here I am in November, I'm still saying yes to that. And part of that is making sure that you have that great product, you know who your target market is, and having those healthy business tools in your tool belt. And for me, Maestro has been one of those healthy tools in the tool belt. Thank you, definitely. We always like to say, oh, it's 500. Hey, that goes a long way, and it went a long way, and very well used. And Maestro being one of those tools in the tool belt, it's about asking for help, asking for support. And I think several of the other panelists have said the same thing. We've all had to learn to ask for help and get help from each other and others within our industry, outside of our industry. And for me, it's about understanding change will happen. If you're an entrepreneur, I can guarantee you one thing: change. And change will occur with that. So I think that's just, really, really important to do. But it's also important to keep in mind, what do you deliver? What can you deliver as that entrepreneur, as that business owner? And for us, Al's Gourmet Nuts, it's about delivering a product, and more than just a product, but a service. What do you need? Right now, businesses need to get their messages across. How is your message being heard when you can't do one-on-one meetings? I literally just had a client to say, well, I want to place an order, Margaret, but I don't know what I want to order this year, because normally he will drop his gifts off. And that's what he does. He has that one-on-one contact time. So his first inclination was to order less. And I said, well, let's look at not what you're going to order, but how are you going to communicate that? So first of all, we're going to brand it. And as you can see on the slide, that was Central Med, believe it or not. That was one of the gifts that they had given to their team and to their board members. And it's all branded. And we're about branding. So as we talk to the client, and I always tell people, we don't just sell gifts. We sell you marketing and branding opportunities. So what we decided with this client to do is he's actually going to dress up like Santa with a mask on, and he's going to go deliver his gifts to his clients, all 100 plus clients. He's going to get in his car. And what that's going to do is that's going to set him apart. The gift is going to be branded. The delivery is going to be great. And he goes, oh my God, I would have never thought about that. Because I said, what are you doing with the time anyway? What are you going to do? We have some great flavors that we're doing. And for us, we know that we have a lot of competition, but what we say is, we are our competition from the standpoint of, we're going to deliver you great service. We're going to deliver you a great product that's made with fresh and local ingredients. It's going to look different. Are you going to pay more for it? Absolutely. But what you're going to get is value added services with us. We deliver here in San Antonio. We're instituting a flat rate ship across the U.S. So that's going to be really important. You talk about services and what you can and can't do. I know everyone loves Amazon, and I love it because I'm on it weekly, daily, probably. But what people always say, well, you don't have free shipping. No, we don't. And on Amazon, somebody pays for the shipping. They just pay for it behind the scenes. But we're being very honest and upfront with our shipping. We're telling you this is what it is. We're telling our customers, by the way, we'd like to stay in business. Help us stay in business. How do you help us stay in business? First of all, you buy from us. You know you're going to get the same great product. And by the way, we could have easily cut, when I say we, I'm referring to my family, we could have easily cut our food costs somehow. When I say somehow, by looking at lesser quality ingredients. We said no to that because our customers are buying quality, top quality. So for this pandemic year, we've called up our ingredients, food suppliers, and we're like, this is what we want. And they're like, but we have a cheaper ingredients. We're like, that's not who we are. So our clients know that they're going to get the best of the best no matter what. But what
So
that means is that, you know what you're getting and you can depend on it.
now, Margaret, talk
Yes, ma'am.
about quality. I love quality. I enjoy those nuts. I really do. For the holidays, especially for the holidays. But how do I get a hold of your products?
Well, a couple of ways. Believe it or not, we still love phone calls. You can still give us a call. We like to say we answer a phone. You don't have to go through a robo system. You can also email us. You can also jump on our website, and we're also on Maestro as well. So to shop
Mhm.
local as well. So there are a couple of ways that you can get a hold of us by phone, email, website. We're on Facebook. We're on Instagram as well. Our whole goal, what we do with a lot of our clients, a lot of it is customized work. We also do a lot of personal orders. We just did a baby shower gift, and we just did, believe it or not, we had, I like to tell the story real quick about when you say how to get a hold of us. We actually, we're at the Pearl Farmers Market every weekend as well. We actually had a client that come up
Mm.
at the Pearl. They're hiring on new employees, and which is great to hear. But usually they have a big party when they introduce all of their new employees to their staff. So what they did is they had a Zoom party, and they did it. They called it a pop-up Zoom party. They did our gourmet nuts and kettle corn, and they all had the packages were delivered to everyone, and they all opened up their packages together and welcomed that new employee. So those are some
That's
creative things.
awesome. I love it.
So you can say, how do you get a hold of us at the farmers market, on the phone, email, maestro, you name it, we're there to contact. But I think most important, we're here to serve. We're here to serve. And matter of fact, we're here to serve you with a phenomenal and I wish I had smell-o-vision, smell-o-vision, smell-o-vision for our wonderful and new flavor, not new flavors, but our flavors we offer for the holidays, believe it or not, is our peppermint. Talk about
Mm.
a taste of Christmas joy, your peppermint you'll love, and we have a cranberry almond as well. So if you want to have some yumminess for your holiday season, we would love to be able to take good care of
Ladies, between looking gorgeous from Mrs. Ying Yang, right? Having those memorable moments from
you. I
my
love it.
grandma,
Yes.
right? Knowing how to sit correctly, because I'm telling you right now, Julia, I'm looking at your pillows already
Yes.
and preparing for the holidays. Not just that, I have all of you on Buy Local Grow SA. So if y'all haven't figured that out, this is a great place to interact with each other. Sometimes I lose my time going through some of the customers that, the clients, that's to the Maestro Center. But some of these great, entrepreneurs on literally fingertips away. Now, ladies, we've got a couple more minutes as we get ready to transition, but I want to go back through one more time through each one of you. And Yi Yang stated that, she's an avid reader and even through audio. But as we get ready to go into the holidays, what's your message? I'm going to start with each one of y'all going back, but I'm going to start with Margaret going backwards. Okay. Margaret, what is your message to our audience through the holidays, especially being affected through COVID?
I think messages, two messages. On a personal side, enjoy the moment, make it count, because guess what, guys? We really don't know who's going to be here tomorrow and who's not. I've literally lost about 4 friends over the last 2 years, all under the age of 60. And that's been really tough. And with COVID, it's a reminder to be kind to each other. Sometimes go out of your way just to say hello and thank you. From a business perspective, definitely a small business owner, family owned and operated, we would love and welcome and need your support to order. May you order your personal gifts or your corporate gifts or both. We would love to be of service to you. But I think for me, this is not only the year of caring, this is the decade now that will take us into caring and to being kind and being considerate to our fellow man, no matter who you are, what your background is, who you represent, because most important, we are members of the human race and we are human to each other and we should be human to each other and just take the time to care.
Absolutely. Julia, I'm eyeballing that product of yours, but what would you tell our audience, especially, I mean, you started, and left your job for the need to take care of your daughter, but now you're out there helping the community. What would you tell the audience right now, as you survive through COVID? You're on mute.
Oh yeah, sorry, I got it. Yeah,
It's okay.
so I think San Antonio does a really great job of promoting its local people, and I think the local community does a really wonderful job supporting local. I think they could do a better job. I think we all believe that. So I think that's something I really would like to, just put out there is we are here. Maybe people don't really know about us, and this has been a great vehicle, Maestro. Thank you. By local Grow SA. That's the way it works. Is we help each other, and then we let our family members who are maybe not local know about all of the great companies that are here, and to even get on and buy from each other. In fact, I already know I'm definitely going to talk with Margaret some things, a little maybe work together and doing something things. But yeah, and same. I loved everything she said about being here for now and being good with what's happening right now. That's part of what I teach in meditation, and being kind and compassionate toward others, and definitely to yourself. That's a super important thing. But yeah, I think the local community here is happy to and excited to support local, and what you guys are doing is it helps them do that, and we appreciate that.
Excellent. Thank you, Julia. All right, Andrea. Now, all I can imagine right now that's going through my head is the aromas in my grandma's kitchen. But sometimes we forget, and we have to be reminded. And I love what you said about the Olla Express Cafe. You're bringing in that Mexican elixir and pouring into each other and pouring into ourselves. How do you want, Olla Express Cafe not just support you, your family, but the community? What would you offer to everyone right now? Because other than the great taste that you're bringing.
Well, my message for these holidays is, first of all, be safe, protect others, but most important, send some love in any way. It could be in a way of nuts, coffee, pillows, or even a photography session. And sending love to others, you are supporting us. And buy local, Grow SA.
Yes, absolutely. Thank you. Thank you. Yi Yang. Now, I want that walk through memory lane. Okay. And here's the thing. Like Margaret said, we've lost a few people in our lives that we never prepared for. But being able to put it into history, right? And not forgetting that. I love your photos. I love the fact that you're taking the time. Not only that, you served, but you brought the same passion of service in the military as a Navy veteran. Now you're bringing it to San Antonio, which is Military City, USA. What's your message right now, especially during COVID? You're on mute. Nope, we're still mute. Can someone unmute? There you go. There you go. We're good.
Okay, good. First, yes, we are here in Military City, USA. And I just want to say thank you to all the military members, active, retired, veterans that have served the military. I've been there and I know it's a completely different culture and lifestyle, and it's a sacrifice. So thank you, thank you, thank you. The message that I have is basically the same as the other business owners, is to be in the moment. So whatever you do, if you're, hosting a party, or delivering food or helping someone, reading a book to your child, or whatever you're doing, just be in the moment. really be there. I know that we can get so busy worrying about our calendars and, editing and a million things, running through our head at the same time. But when we're there in the moment, those become the memories, and we can really project that energy of love and compassion to the other person, and that's what they will remember. As far as pictures goes, my suggestion is print your pictures, because as much as we love technology and having 3,000, 7,000 pictures on our phone, if the phone breaks, or if we if it just deletes everything for whatever reason, most of the time, if it's not backed up or whatever, or even if it's backed up, images that are digital, they start losing quality over time. So I don't know if you've noticed that if you take a really good picture with your phone, maybe 3 or 4 years later, that picture is already blurry, it's pixelated. So printing them, having them in paper, that's very, very important to give that to your children to pass on to your next generations. So thank you so, so much for having us. I absolutely love and appreciate the city of San Antonio. It's a big city with a small town feeling. The diversity and the culture really help us stay connected to our roots. I have many friends that I have fun, speaking Spanish with them. And, then there's so many diverse groups that we just help each other. So groups and organizations like Maestro,
Right.
like I have a whole list, and they've already mentioned them, the Small Business Administration, UTSA, the city of San Antonio, the county. San Antonio just has so many resources and tools for small business owners that if we just reach out, ask for help, and we help each other out, then
Absolutely.
we can do great things. Thank you.
Absolutely. No, thank you. Ladies, I know y'all have crazy schedules, especially being, an entrepreneur. But at the Maestro Centers, we want you to learn more about us, right? We want to make sure that you're able to schedule that time, take a look at it. They've got a amazing kitchen for those who are needing to cook and you don't have the facility for, industrialized. They have the office space. They have those auditoriums. Connect with us, because not just that, but the resources that they have there to be able to communicate, develop, identify, reevaluate. Connect with us through Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and all professionals. Please, 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 LinkedIn. Everybody knows that that's a professional link. As an entrepreneur, get connected. YouTube, podcasts, worst case scenario, you just have a question, give them a call. But here's the other thing. I want to make sure you have an opportunity and remind you about registering on Buy Local Grow SA. All of our panelists are on Buy Local Grow SA. Holidays are coming up. Look at your backyard of who can actually provide you those resources. Yes, Amazon's fabulous. Yes, UPS is great. Yes, there's other great stores. But I'm going to share something with you that I recently read. Dextral University just published that 60% of small and micro businesses will not open their doors due to COVID. Let's change those statistics. Change those statistics here in San Antonio, right? But we want, most of all, know that the resources here in San Antonio are here to support you. Buy Local Grow SA is one of those tools to ensure that that doesn't happen. And those that we want to thank are HEB, Wells Fargo, City of San Antonio Economic Development Department, and most of all, our supporters, the supporters that you see listed. But the key people that we need to thank are those of you who are listening, not just here on our webinar, but live on Facebook. You are key and instrumental in making sure that these businesses and the Maestro Center are successful. I'm Juanita with Tree Shaker Podcast. Give us a few minutes and we get ready to transition into the Spanish version. Many blessings. Happy holidays.
Juanita, hey guys, thank you all so much. I have to run to another board meeting. So I have the slides. If you guys need anything else, just let me know. But thank you so much for the support and the love. I really appreciate it. And ladies, everyone else on the panel, I wish you guys well. I know we're going to have all a great holiday season. If you need anything, please feel free to reach out to me, okay?
Our pleasure.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you,
Bye-bye.
Juanita.
Thank
Appreciate
you.
everything.
No, thank you. Thank you. We understand. We understand.
Yeah. I used to do a lot of public speaking and classes, and then also pop-up shops, and that's not happening. And so that's been, trying to pivot that to just trying to contact people and try to explain it without them sitting on it. It's a little difficult. So we
Right.
appreciate your help.
Absolutely.
Yes, thank you so much. I also have an appointment, so I'll be
Absolutely.
taking off. I wish I could have stayed for the Spanish session because I love speaking Spanish, but thank you so much. And if you guys, need anything, let me know.
Yes, will do. Will
Thank
do.
you. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Bueno, bienvenidos hoy al seminario de este miércoles. Soy Juanita con Tree Shaker Podcast. Hoy estamos hablando sobre pequeñas empresas. It's Small Business Saturday. El 2020 deben de saber y deben de tener. Vamos aquí a presentar sobre información de empresas que están aquí local. Pero antes que comenzamos, quiero informarles. Les quiero dar información. Ahorita vamos a comenzar. Naeli. Sobre Buy Local Grow SA, quiero informarles sobre este sitio web de recursos para pequeñas empresas. Con Buy Local Grow SA es una plataforma diseñada para dueños de negocios como ustedes. A través del sitio web pueden accesar recursos gratis y pueden ver oportunidades de adecuación y hasta las promociones de su negocio y aumentar la visibilidad gratis, absolutamente gratis. Tenemos algunas mejores características nuevas y como también tenemos la posibilidad de publicar promociones comerciales por su perfil. Si quieren registrarse y presentar una venta o presentar un nuevo producto, pueden usar Buy Local Grow SA como otra vía para anunciar sus servicios y productos. También agregamos oportunidades, citaciones donde pueden guardar los que les interesen y juntar la oportunidad y posibilidad de publicar sus propias oportunidades de contratos. Solamente les toma como 5 o 10 minutos para registrarse, pero una vez que se reciben la prueba, pueden desbloquear una nueva manera de hacer negocio aquí en San Antonio. Pero también, como estamos aquí a apoyar a todos, queremos dar gracias a las personas que los apoyan. Ahí estamos. Vamos a dar gracias a HEB, a HEB, a Wells Fargo, la ciudad de San Antonio, el desarrollo económico del departamento, y también a todos que miran tan presentados al final, que están aquí para soportar la misión de Maestro Center. Pero aquí no están nomás para oír y escuchar lo que yo les voy a decir. Aquí van a oír a ciertas empresas que están local. La primera es la información sobre Yi Segovia, que es parte de Wonder Photography y Designs. Y la que va a presentar la información es la señorita. ¿Quién es la señorita que los va a presentar?
Buenas tardes.
Buenas tardes.
Hola. Me llamo Victoria Vega y yo voy a dar la presentación de Yin Segovia. Ok. Ella es la encargada de Wonder Photography. Ella es una mamá y esposa, es veterana del US Navy. Fue criada en Colombia, pero nació aquí en los Estados Unidos. Es bilingüe en español y en inglés. Es graduada de Lamar University y Columbia Southern University. Como dije, ella nació aquí en los Estados Unidos, pero se fue para Colombia de chica. Y cuando cumplió los 18 años, se vino con su hermana a los Estados Unidos y llegó solo con una maleta y $200. Y con eso empezó su vida aquí. Ella se enamoró de la fotografía mientras estaba sirviendo en el US Navy. En el 2017 renunció a su trabajo en una corporación y empezó su camino para crear su propio negocio. En el 2017 trabajaba especialmente con niños. En el 2019 quería crecer su negocio. Ella se enseñó todo lo que sabe. Ella buscó maneras para poder expandirse. En el 2020, por el coronavirus, todos los fotógrafos fueron afectados por eso. Le dio tiempo para reflexionar e innovarse. Empezó a ver cómo trabajar en los bienes raíces con fotografía. Unas cosas que ella aprendió es que siempre tiene tiempo para aprender, que siempre tiene que tener una visión clara y después de eso tiene que ser seguido por un plan y por acción, si no solamente será un sueño. Tiene que tener compasión y ser buena con sí misma. No todo se puede hacer sola, pero sí puedes hacer todo lo que te propones. Estos son cosas de su negocio.
Victoria, esa es la presentación de su capability sheet, de su negocio. Y lo que estoy notando es las oportunidades donde puede presentar su profesión, porque pueden no nomás trabajar con cada persona individual, pero también pueden trabajar con compañías comerciales, ¿verdad? Y lo
Sí.
que estoy notando aquí en el lado derecho es todas las certificaciones y los codes que le pueden identificar con cuál cooperaciones y pequeños negocios y personas individual que pueden tomar sus fotos o sus productos, ¿verdad?
Sí.
Y estoy notando que recibió sus certificaciones también.
Ujú.
No, claro que sí. ¿Y qué más los presenta esta profesional?
Perdón, no la escuché bien.
Porque también estoy notando que hay otras experiencias que Yi tiene, no nomás de veterana y que ya tienes todas sus certificaciones through Swimby. Y hace hace poco también que ha comenzado su propio negocio, ¿verdad?
Sí. Hace poco. Después en el 2017 empezó a hacerlo y de ahí ella había dicho que estos últimos años ha estado aprendiendo muchas cosas y ha practicado en muchas áreas sobre la fotografía, pero después del coronavirus empezó a reflexionar y quiere especializarse específicamente en una área para tener en qué trabajar, pero que ahorita está intentando en crecer su portfolio y está buscando oportunidades de tomar más fotos para que pueda tener más, para expandir sus clientes de negocios.
Claro. So, esa es la manera que se puede uno comunicarse con Yi Yang y su Wonder Photography Designs. Perfecto. Hoy vamos a escuchar y es un honor poder presentar a la señora Andrea Ley. Es la dueña de Olla Express Café y está aquí en la ciudad de San Antonio. Andrea, bienvenida.
Hola, gracias por invitarme. Buenas tardes. Yo soy, como bien lo dijiste, la dueña de Olla Express Café. Nuestra compañía es una empresa de café especializada en café de olla y bebidas artesanales. Nosotros también tenemos esta plataforma para el café mexicano Y pues nuestra misión es rescatar las recetas de esas bebidas mexicanas, esas recetas de nuestras abuelas que nos hacen viajar un poquito a nuestras raíces y tener esta sensación que tenemos un pedacito de México aquí en San Antonio. Nuestra misión también es tener gran calidad y servicio a nuestros clientes. En nuestro mercado, nosotros tenemos esta regla importante de escuchar a los clientes, de qué es lo que a ellos les gusta y qué es lo que necesitan para consumir café. Hemos tenido una gran aceptación de nuestro café de olla, que es café con especias, que es la manera tradicional en la que se toma café en México. Y así ellos tienen esa manera de tomar el café como en México, lo disfrutan bastante y ha sido muy apreciado por ellos. Nosotros pues siempre estamos pensando en qué sería lo mejor para nuestros clientes, así es que los escuchamos cuidadosamente para siempre estar a la vanguardia de lo que tenemos en nuestro café. Una de las cosas que hemos aprendido a lo largo de 2017 para acá, que empezamos a hacer nuestro negocio, es que siendo un coffee truck, siendo móvil, a veces te encuentras con muchos retos para la operación del negocio, ya sea que tengas algunos fallos pues de electricidad o del vehículo. Algunas veces pues es muy retador el día con día, la operación día con día. Sin embargo, nosotros no tenemos miedo, tenemos ese plan B o plan C o plan D para poder salir día a día con las operaciones, y eso pues nos ha hecho salir adelante. Cuando iniciamos nosotros el negocio, pues teniendo un background de tecnología. Yo antes trabajaba en USA y esto me permite tener toda la estructura de mi website y de la tienda online, pues ya bien estructurado para que se puedan vender también los productos en línea. Entonces, a lo que me refería con lo del plan for failure o el plan de planear de manera adelantada para no fallar, es claro, que vas a tener tú todo en el website correctamente. Entonces no habrá manera de no poder vender tus productos si tienes que cerrar, como en este año 2020 que nos llegó esta pandemia, y ya teníamos nosotros pues esa estructura tecnológica y pudimos enfocarnos en vender ahí. Entonces ese plan que teníamos, plan alterno, nos ayudó a salir adelante y hacer pues sobrevivir, sobre todo como un negocio pequeño. Y bueno, eso también creemos que ha inspirado a otros negocios que como nosotros también se dedican a hacer un negocio móvil, como los food trucks. Y también otra de las cosas que nos han funcionado bastante es crear asociaciones o partnership con gente o con otras marcas que venden algo parecido a lo de nosotros o que venden productos mexicanos. Y bueno, esto le da un plus a los clientes. De manera que estaba explicando la cuestión de sobrevivir en esta pandemia. Lo importante también es innovar. Como dice aquí este slide, es innovar o morir. Y esto es porque cuando tú dejas de hacer cosas nuevas para tus clientes, pues te puedes quedar en un pues sentido muy plano de tu negocio, y no habrá cosas que al cliente le motiven para seguir siendo un cliente tuyo. Entonces nosotros hemos lanzado nuevos productos como, por ejemplo, tepache, atoles. Para esta temporada navideña vamos a tener ponches, y todas estas cuestiones, todos estos productos nos han permitido destacar de los otros cafés, de los otros coffee shops, porque vendemos un producto diferente. Nos especializamos en café mexicano, bebidas mexicanas, sabores mexicanos, ingredientes de calidad y siempre, siempre teniendo ingredientes naturales. No tenemos ningún artificial o algunos jarabes que no sean 100% natural. De acuerdo al crecimiento, siempre hemos pensado que puedas, como dice aquí, divide and conquer es hacer como delegar y así puedes tener un mejor éxito, una manera de subsistir de una manera más fácil. Esto es cuando tú tienes pues muchas cuestiones que hacer para el negocio, pero si divides entre la gente que está trabajando contigo o los proveedores con los que trabajas, eso te va a permitir ser más eficiente. Otra de las cuestiones que nos han permitido crecer es hacer networking, hacer relaciones con otros negocios, con otros business owners, con otros propietarios, para poder tener, no sé, por ejemplo, eventos, alguna colaboración en cuanto a productos. Tenemos por ahí una colaboración de un café que se llama La Taza de Frida, que es un café con anís, y ese lo hicimos con una pequeña boutique que también es móvil, y aquí en San Antonio pues ha sido muy apreciado que tengamos ese tipo de asociaciones o sociedades con otras marcas. También por ahí comentaba en esta parte del crecimiento que hemos tenido la fortuna de tener recursos de la ciudad que nos han permitido crecer por medio de expertos. Si tienes alguna cuestión legal o de contabilidad o alguna cosa que tú no sepas, es importante dejar que los expertos te ayuden. Y todos estos recursos de la ciudad, tanto Maestro Center como algunos otros, pues te permiten tener esa plataforma de ayuda.
Claro.
Y los factores clave para nosotros es, sobre todo para mí como propietaria o dueña de mi negocio, es la perseverancia. No te rindas, sí puedes hacerlo. Enfocarte en tu negocio y lo que eres experto en tu negocio, ¿no? Dejarlo de una manera simple, dejarlo claro para que no te trates de pues abarcar muchísimas cosas en las cuales pierdas el foco. Como ya lo había dicho, la innovación, tener nuevos productos y nuevas tecnologías, aprovechar todo lo que hay en el Internet. Hay muchos recursos de Google, hay muchos recursos de otras organizaciones como Maestro Center que te permiten tener mucho más, pues como más visión para la gente y más alcance. Y la parte de fairness, a nosotros sobre todo nos gusta ser muy cuidadosos escuchando tanto a nuestros clientes como a nuestros socios o gente que trabaja con nosotros como empleados, por ejemplo, y ser muy éticos, sobre todo en la parte de tener una competencia sana, de tener esta colaboración con otras compañías y siempre utilizar ingredientes de calidad. Eso para nosotros es muy importante. Y las causas sociales, esto es algo que yo creo que es un factor clave para todas las organizaciones, que es devolver un poquito de lo que se nos brinda a nosotros como empresas y tratar de ayudar pues a quien más lo necesita.
Claro.
Muchas gracias. Esta es toda mi presentación y bueno, nos pueden encontrar en nuestras redes, ya sea Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, por supuesto en Buy Local Grow SA. Y si tienen alguna duda, ahí está también mi correo. Y bueno, espero verlos pronto por ahí por el Coffee Truck o en algún otro lugar por ahí en nuestro negocio. Muchas gracias.
Andrea, gracias. Estoy lista para probar tu cafés. También tenemos hoy a Julie Bates, que es de parte de Mellow Yellow. Mellow Yellow. Mellow Bee, estaba pensando también ahora en tomar algo, ¿verdad? Pero tiene su negocio que dice Mellow Bee Company. Es una enfermera registrada y aquí que va a presentar por nosotros es una joven lista para informarlos en la manera que podemos usar el producto de Mellow Bee.
Sí, hola, y Andrea, estoy muy orgullosa, ya quiero probar su café, entonces un día voy y compro todo el café y los panecitos y todo.
Gracias.
Entonces nuestra oradora no podía quedarse, entonces yo voy a presentar para ella. Ella tiene una compañía que se llama Mellowbee y la puedes encontrar en Facebook, Instagram y aquí está su sitio web. Y nomás les quería enseñar un poquito de su sitio y qué ofrece. Julia Bates es una enfermera registrada, así se dice.
Sí.
Y empezó su negocio porque primeramente su hija estaba teniendo problemas con su espalda y creó una almohada donde se sienta y soporta tu espalda. Y, a ver, déjame buscar su sitio web. Y aquí puedes encontrar, tiene diferentes almohadas para como su silla de trabajo. Si estás sentado todo el día y te duele la espalda, puedes soportar tu cuello, tu espalda. Si te gusta sentarse en el piso, aquí hay para meditación, más su negocio más es para como mindfulness, ¿cómo se dice? De meditation, de relajación, pero también de soportarse en su espalda y en su postura. Y aquí puedes buscar en Buy Local Grow SA, la puedes hallar su perfil, y aquí en mellowbee.com puedes hallar sus almohadas y en diferentes maneras que puedes usar esto. Y también es bueno para los bebés, para soportar los bebés, para su laptop, como sea. Estas almohadas se miran súper lindas para ese support, para su espalda. Y aquí la puedes encontrar. Déjame buscar. Perdí mi mouse. Entonces, estos cojines reflejan su cuerpo y el centro rodeando y largas bajo los músculos. Cada cuerpo es diferente y no hay dos personas que se acomodan igual. Y en la misma manera usamos un saco de cascos de alforrón que responden al peso de tu cuerpo, ajustándose a tus puntos de presión y a tu forma. Y cuando se sientan en el suelo, traen calma al sistema nervioso. Un par de respiraciones profundas se instalan y simplemente nomás ayudan a circular todo más fácil y te sientes más claro después de que estás sentado meditando y reflejando en toda su vida. Y eso es Mellowbee. Y otra vez la puedes hallar aquí. Sus almohadas, aquí los puedes ordenar. Y aquí mira cómo trae el bebé, cómo están sentados en las sillas del trabajo, donde sea, puedes llevar estos. Son portables y confortables también. Y luego nuestro negocio segundo es Al's Gourmet Nuts. También la puedes hallar en Facebook, Instagram y en su sitio web Al Gourmet Nuts. Se llama Margaret Wilson Anaglia y su compañía estaba establecido en el 2000. Es un negocio de familia y fabrican todo en línea y todo está fabricado aquí en San Antonio y mandan donde sea en el US. Entonces, si tienes familia en otra parte del Estados Unidos, puedes mandar regalos, puedes mandar los nueces, o si tienes una compañía y quieren regalar a todos sus empleados, esto es un buen regalo para todos porque tienen chance de poner su logo, lo que sea para hacerlo más personalizado. Y Margaret creó su producto y lo que estaba platicando es que tienes que conocer su mercado y tu objetivo y tu segmento de negocio y quién lo va a comprar y quién necesita estos nueces, quién va a comprar esto y luego crear una caja de herramientas de negocio saludable. Entonces ella busca apoyo de diferentes organizaciones de finanzas, legales, tecnología, donde sea. Si necesitas ayuda, hay bastante ayuda aquí en San Antonio, en todas las organizaciones sin non-profits que ayudan y apoyan los negocios. Y también tienes que entender que cambio va a ocurrir, entonces tienes que estar innovativo, así se dice, innovative. Y entonces, con todo de coronavirus y todo, Margaret tenía que cambiar cómo hacía su negocio y a quién le está targeting, ¿cómo se dice targeting? Más,
Su marqueta que está dictando sus negocios.
sí.
Entendemos.
Sí. Y también aquí en esta foto tienen Central Med, ahí es como la opción si quieres poner tu logo de tu sticker o lo que sea para sus clientes, para sus empleados, también tienes esa opción. Tienen diferentes opciones de regalos, tiene las personalizadas y las latas, y también tiene sabores únicos de menta, cranberry y más frescuras. Cada regalo es hecho a medida, entonces como tú lo quieres, lo van a hacer y así te lo van a hacer personalizado. Entonces puedes enviar como su logo o nombre o lo que sea. También como una foto de la persona o como tú quieres hacerlo más personal. Y el shipping es single flat rate. Entonces, si vas a mandar algo como a California o al New York o donde sea, está tu familia o alguien, es igual el shipping flat rate. Y puedes ordenar, le puedes hallar en Facebook, Instagram, Buy Local Grow SA, puedes llamar ese número o ordenar en su sitio web y también mandarle un correo a nutorder@alsgourmetnuts.com.
Muy bien, Naeli. Gracias por presentar la información, porque esas empresas están ubicadas aquí en San Antonio, pues se pueden encontrar en Buy Local Grow SA. Now, como siempre, Buy Local Grow SA, donde se puede registrar. Pero antes que avanzamos con Buy Local Grow SA, estoy notando que tú tenemos a Andrea. Y Andrea, ¿en qué manera los ponemos comunicar contigo? Porque ya viene el Día de la Gracia, ya viene Navidad, ya viene el Año Nuevo. Y bueno, ya sé, yo no sé como los demás, pero para mí un café es como a recordar no nomás mi abuela, pero estoy lista para ir y comenzar mi día.
Sí, como bien lo decíamos al principio, siempre un buen cafecito de olla te va a hacer sentir mejor, te va a dar un abrazo reconfortante como el que te daba la abuela cuando llegabas a su casa. Entonces tenemos
Claro.
un pedacito aquí de México y olvidé comentar que tenemos también catering, tenemos servicio de coffee truck o te podemos llevar cualquiera de las bebidas, ya sea café de olla calientito, café regular, atoles, hasta tenemos aguas frescas. Ahorita para los holiday parties nos están contratando, lo podemos hacer por hora, por persona, solo es cuestión de que se pongan en contacto con nosotros. Y bueno, pues vamos a cuidarnos todos, vamos a quedarnos en casa, pero hay que mandarle amor en cualquiera de nuestras formas a nuestra familia, a nuestros amigos, y ya sea en forma de nueces, de café, de alguna almohadilla para hacer meditación o alguna sesión de fotos. Y esto es muy importante para sentirnos mejor y reconfortarnos unos a otros esta época navideña. Muchísimas gracias por invitarme.
Ay, como siempre, es un placer tenerte aquí presentada y lo dijiste correcto. Si quieres un cafecito, que te dé un abrazo, a tomar sus memorias y tomar una foto, mandar un presente a alguien que te ha conocido y te ha dado un abrazo en los momentos y más con todos los virus que están, el COVID-19, ¿verdad? Y no nomás eso, pero también tenemos con la terapia, el tiempo de reflectar, y yo sé que conmigo, con esos productos y más que los puedo encontrar con Buy Local Grow SA, si acaso en esos momentos le estoy abriendo la oportunidad que les pueden hacer una pregunta a cualquier persona, que en veces se los termina el tiempo y se los escapa a poder tener esa conversación. So, en este momento tenemos un momento para poder tener esas conversaciones con todos que están presentados. Y si hay una pregunta, por favor.
Yo tengo una pregunta. Andrea,
Bien.
¿qué es su horario?
Sí, ahorita solamente abrimos fines de semana, empezando el día viernes, sábado, domingo, de 8 a 1. Los viernes y los domingos estamos en el mismo lugar, es en nuestra base, el Babcock y Prue. Y los sábados estamos en Southtown, en St. Mary's, en César Chávez.
Perfecto, los voy a mirar el sábado entonces.
Muy bien, ahí te esperamos.
Sí.
Claro que sí. Bueno, siempre tenemos, es un honor para poder tener gente que están aquí locado en San Antonio, pero también les quiero dar la información otra vez y recordar y ofrecer la oportunidad que se registren aquí en Buy Local Grow SA. Como les dije al principio, es un sitio web de recursos para pequeñas empresas. Solamente les toma como 5 minutos para ir a registrarse. No nomás están en inglés, pero también están en español. Y pueden usar su teléfono con la cámara al QR code y se pueden registrar sobre esa manera. Pero cuando se registren y reciban la prueba a tener su perfil, desbloquea la manera de hacer negocio hacer negocio con San Antonio. Hay oportunidades que, como dicen, como estamos notando, las empresas que se presentaron hoy se pueden alocar aquí en el sitio web, pero más importante, quiero informarles de la manera que se pueden comunicar con el Maestro Center. El Maestro Center, quieren más sobre conocer el Maestro Center, llamen, hagan una cita a conocer el edificio, tienen oficinas, tienen una cocina, pero hermosa y lista para que la puedan usar. Comuníquense through Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, LinkedIn, porque todos ustedes son unos negocios, son profesionales. No nomás tenemos recursos para soportar su negocio, pero también recursos para soportarse uno profesional. No pasen la oportunidad a conocer el Maestro Center, que están aquí para apoyarnos. Pero más importante, les quiero dar gracias. Quiero dar gracias a HEB, todos a HEB, a Wells Fargo y la ciudad de San Antonio, que el Departamento de Desarrollo Económico, porque ellos están aquí para apoyarlos y asegurar que eso todo es posible. Y como miran al final que están aquí, todos los que los siguen apoyando, están aquí porque están notando la necesidad para apoyar la misión de presentar recursos para nuestras pequeñas empresas. Pero más importante, gracias a todos y los vemos el próximo Wednesday, porque aquí estamos para soportarlos a todos. Soy Juanita con Tree Shaker Podcast y los vemos el próximo miércoles.